in their first final since 1979 against Quins, the warmest of favourites. Your commentators for the final, Nigel Starmer-Smith and Bill McLaren.
And you join us as the two teams for the final are being presented to Captain Michael Peary, who is the president of the Rugby Football Union, and also to Michael Christie of the Old Merchant Tailors, who is president of the Middlesex County Rugby Football Union. To Michael Peary on what has been a very hectic and busy and somewhat controversial year of presidency, makes his way up to the main box, and what started a week ago with close on 250 clubs contesting the qualifying stages at 8 London Rugby Club grounds now reaches its climax. The final of the 66th Middlesex Sevens tournament between London Scottish and Harlequins. The first time that those two great Sevens specialists have actually met in this final, although it's the 12th time, the 13th time that London Scottish have been there, and Harlequins with a record 19th appearance. And there, Andrew Harriman, the top try scorer in the tournament so far with 6 tries, the main danger man to London Scottish, 10 minutes each way. The referee, Andrew Mason, blows his whistle, and the final is underway. And immediately, Chris Sheesby got a knock as he went up for that ball, played just before he played the ball, and that, of course, now is a penalty offence, and it's a cautionable offence, really, because when a player is up off the ground, you're not allowed to tackle him or knock him over. That was one of the danger aspects that the administrators decided to deal with. A dangerous tackle, in other words. However, Chris Sheesby is okay. Glenister, Winterbottom, Davis, Harriman, Sheesby. Now Sheesby has pace, he's already run a long way, but no way through there. On there to Luxton. Sheesby out to Harriman. London Scottish will want to close him down quickly, but it takes a lot of doing. Look at that. Oh, that's incredible running by this amazing chap. Even Millard can't stop him. And Harriman throws away again, purring away like a supercharged motorboat for the first try of the final. A remarkable bit of running. The crowd respond to it as you would expect them to. Quite amazing. You watch him here, he was pegged in, really. Withers Green couldn't hold him. Watch the kid on the dummy, then the jink, and then the change of pace. Across came David Millard, but no stopping this man. It was a super effort. 7 tries for the big fella. 6'2", almost 13 stones, and with pace like that. And a special clap for him as he makes his way back down the field, and thoroughly well deserved. Back to Rob Glenister with 12 conversions so far. And there is 13th, stroked over beautifully. That's his 13th conversion of 17 tries. You can see how valuable that kicking has been to Harlequins this afternoon. And Harlequins in every tie have sailed away, made themselves a huge cushion, and in a sense strolled the rest of the way.
I was just thinking back, Bill, to watching Harriman there. He seems to have dominated today and in previous years in the way that Gerald Davies did with Loughborough. Seems to be on a par with that.
Appleson restarts. Sheesby and Walker in opposition there. The ball beat both of them. London Scottish with 2 quite big lads in Walker and Ian Morrison. Morrison's done that pretty well all afternoon. Harold. Appleson has switched to Troop to Harold. Harold having a go, caught by Davis. Super embracing tackle, killed the ball as well. Harriman, loose, Withers Green going up. Feeds it out there to Walker. Walker going for the corner. Nicely out to Troop. Troop has done it again. Kevin Troop has done it once more. The little fellow who came on as a replacement for Nick Grecian in the first tie. And there he is with his 4th try of the afternoon. And it was Withers Green who really made it. And then Walker, the big forward, churning away. And Troop, well, Glenister was after him, but he made it. He's had a joyous afternoon. I tell you, fancy coming on as a replacement. And here you are in the final. 40,000 and you score a crucial try like that. Life can be good sometimes. Mark Appleson, who's the left footer, scrum half in the 7 that were runners-up at the Glasgow Academicals tournament. His nickname is Banana Man, but I'm not sure why. Just past the right-hand post, 6 points to 4, Harlequins lead. And this huge crowd have waited right to the very end to see if Harlequins can do it once again. 13 victories out of 18 appearances in the final. They've won the last 5 on the trot. Glenister, beautifully hoisted. Morrison waits. Walker. Morrison rips. Withers Green. Appleson again. Little bit unlucky. He's another who's done some grass burning this afternoon with 4 tries. Very quick lad indeed. Eminently useful to this London Scottish 7. They're on their own 22. London Scots reviving memories of their halcyon times in the 60s when they got to 6 finals here in a row. Will Carling gets that very quick engagement, but this is the man that they have to engage quickly. Harriman, Davis with the lengthening of the stride again. He's going to make it to the corner. That's the kind of pace that wins 7-a-side tournaments. The 2 flying machines in unison there. Harriman really made it. Got away from that attempted tackle by Ian Morrison. And then he took out 2 tacklers. The improvised pass. And Davis, of course, just lengthened his stride. He's another beautiful runner.
It's such an important thing to have 2 runners in like that, because it takes the pressure off one who can have a good rest. He doesn't get quite so exhausted. And Davis is a tremendous backup. That time Harriman just providing the foil. And most teams have 1 flyer. The Quins just seem to have the edge with the brace.
And between them they have shared 12 tries. Glenister. Well, he's got the distance all right. That's a superb effort. He really has kicked well, and it's so vital to put over the goals in 7s. That's his 14th conversion. Harlequins with an 8 points margin. They played 7 minutes, so 3 minutes to go to the break. But London Scottish have showed fighting spirit all afternoon. Appleson. It's a good one. It's just over the 10 metres line. Withers Green. Millard. Harold. Appleson again. This is Troop. Troop taking on the great man himself.
It's quite interesting watching him there, because for one moment I thought he was just going to duck under Andy Harriman's sort of armpit then. He's got an advantage because he's very, very elusive.
Walker. Harold feeding on. Millard is there. Gives it to Appleson. Harriman back to cover. And of course that pace that the Harlequins have isn't only absolutely vital in running in tries, but it's a crucial element in going backwards as well, as we saw there, closing down the space available to the London Scots backs. Inside the Harlequin 22. Peter Winterbottom is the captain. spoofed me a bit there with that short haircut of his. Looks tidier than usual. He got a bit of a shove there as well, but a slice kick by Carling. Troop has a chance. Can he hold it? Feeds it up. It didn't go to hand. Morrison was first there. Everton Davis leads the counter charge, and Glenister clears. Yeah, a bit of good-natured booing with 1 minute to go to half-time. Harlequins have adopted the mantle in a way of London Welsh, who used to get a bit of stick here because they did pretty well here. Winterbottom at the front with Walker. Morrison and Sheesby, and Morrison again, switching position cleverly. Millard all the way out to Troop this time. Millard again. Appleson. Now Appleson is clear, but he's got Carling. Back inside to Troop. Good covering tackle there by Craig Luxton. Referee decides a bit of malpractice on the floor there. Penalty to the London Scots. It's David Millard, big fellow for a scrum half, almost 14 stone, 6 feet 1.5. Troop this time. Winterbottom with the tackle. A real chance here, and it's a try for Mark Appleson. London Scottish fighting back as they've done in previous ties. And of course it brings the crowd to their feet. But that penalty did it. And then that lovely feedback there. Appleson juggled, but he had a lot of support, but he didn't need it. So, 12 points to 8.
I must say, I take my hat off enormously to London Scottish because they had infinitely the harder draw, having disposed of Loughborough in a tight game, Northampton in a tight game, Rosslyn Park won, and here they are taking the game superbly well, and they're well and truly in the contest.
Fraser Harold. Just past. The London Scots haven't kicked their goals quite as well as the Harlequins have done. Whistle goes for the break. Just 4 points in it. 12 points to 8 Harlequins lead. And this is some final.
And in truth, Bill, it's really the first time that anyone has stretched Harlequins and had enough possession. And this is where I think the Scottish are doing particularly well. It's the first time that Sheesby, Winterbottom and Luxton just haven't had it all their own way.
And you can tell that from the scoring, because Harlequins scored 88 points up until the final, 16 tries, compared to London Scottish with 52 points from just the 10 tries. And so it's been that kind of situation for Harlequins. They haven't been pushed at all in the tournament, but they know they have a battle on their hands now, and it's going to take everything they have. Although, I suppose if you were a betting man, you'd still put your money on those quickies in the Harlequin side, because Will Carling hasn't done anything in this final yet. Number 5 there. Just scored the 3 tries so far. Well, that's just about the best tackling we've seen this afternoon, I must say. One minute break and then another 10 minutes, and then if they're level, they play in bursts of 5 minutes of extra time, with the first team to score, of course, the winners. That extra time having derived from the very first Sevens tournament away back in 1883 at Melrose, where Sevens started. When Gala and Melrose were level at the end of time, they agreed to play 15 minutes. Melrose scored after 10, went off with the trophy, and it's been sudden death ever since. So the second half of the 66th Middlesex tournament gets underway. Rob Glenister starts. Luxton, caught by Morrison. And another all-embracing tackle, so important in the tackle, as Ian Morrison demonstrated there. Not only to put the man on the floor, but to kill the ball at the same time. full 10 metres. And London Scots confident in their hooker, Tony Withers-Green, who used to play for Harlequins at one time, born in Ochtermachty. Millard. Appleson once again. Great tackle by Everton Davis. Take on by Carling. This is Millard, big strong lad. He's got support here. Appleson, Walker. There's a real chance there as Walker goes. Lovely tackle by Winterbottom. And it really is quite unceremonious, even in 7-a-side. You know, you can be standing minding your own business and get knocked 5 yards backwards. Will Carling, what a season he's had, eh? Grand Slam captain. Harlequins won the Pilkington Cup a week ago, and here with the chance of another record here at Middlesex, but having to battle for it.
Well, you're saying about winning the cup final. I should think Harlequins out there who were in that, 5 of them, are beginning to think about what Northampton did and the way they stretched them.
Still just 4 points in it. Harlequins 12-8 in the lead. Harold. Good block there by Glenister. This is Carling, but the whistle had gone. And a very good tackle by David Millard. David Millard there, who captained the Scots at the Student World Cup, also captained the English universities at one time. 6-year-old school teacher. Withers-Green striking well. Harold. Troop again. This is Harold going through. Mark Appleson again, but crowded out once again. The pace and the physical effort of Everton Davis in the tackle. He's not a very big fellow, but he really does tackle like a thunderclap. Buxton with the throw. Sheesby with the feed. Glenister to Carling, to Everton Davis, to Harriman. Tackled this time by two. Everton Davis. A line of blue in front of him, but Winterbottom goes. Peter Winterbottom. Luxton. Will Carling. What an attempt at a tackle by Walker. It just checked Carling enough. Number 6 has it. Walker going. Walker chased by Harriman. The big forward going. Harriman has him. Can he reach there? The try is given. And Walker has scored his second try of the afternoon. And that's the most important one. 3 tries for London Scottish against the reigning champions. Andy Walker, the scorer. It was a great race. Harriman really stepped on the gas here. Walker angled it away. He could feel the hot breath on the back of his neck. The handoff really was what did it. And the long reach, good score. And they're singing down below. Andy Walker, educated at Edinburgh Academy and at Loughborough. And I tell you, what a tie we've got on now. London Scottish last won Middlesex in 1965 when they beat Loughborough 15-8 in the final. And here Mark Appleson with a chance to put them into the lead. Lovely silence for the kicker. That's great to notice. Pulled it round. It sneaked in. Appleson's conversion gives London Scottish the lead by 14 points to 12.
And one takes one's hat off to this forward triumvirate, who have really taken on the Quins where they've looked so dominant, and they've given as good as they got. They've really been winning possession. I don't think Quins expected to lose.
They've just 5 minutes of the tie left. As Glenister gets it going again, Walker feeds back. On there goes Sheesby, feeds up to Winterbottom. Carling feeds out to Everton Davis. One missed tackle. One bad pass to Harriman. Across there has gone Millard. Glenister. Ian Morrison going with it. Morrison's judgment of the distance and pace was superb there. He really wanted to deal with it, but he wanted it over the goal line, and he really did judge it well. So Harlequins, can they make it 6 wins in a row here? Already 5 wins in a row is a record. Mark Appleson taking his time about it. Now they could be penalised for time wasting if they don't get on with it. But Appleson, if that gets the role he wants, it could be very useful. Back goes Winterbottom. He's got Everton Davis with him. Andy Harriman has funneled back as well. Davis caught inside his own 22. Withers Green winning it. But a good ball for Harlequins, and Harriman goes. This is Chris Sheesby. Sheesby going flat out, chased there by Appleson. Sheesby still, David Millard is with him. Sheesby churning on, a magnificent forward strike. What a superb bit of running by the big fellow. He's almost 17 stones, and his pace was quite remarkable, not to mention his grit. A wonderful try for the big fellow who's been with the Barbarians to the Hong Kong Sevens, and who was in the winning Harlequin 7 here 2 seasons ago. 16 points to 14, and Harriman opening out here did it. He missed out Carling and Sheesby. Now he had a long way to go, something like 70 metres. That was the first tackle by Mark Appleson. David Millard was covering, as he's covered well all afternoon, but the pace was just too much for him. It was a remarkable effort by the big guy.
I think this player will go places, I have to say. I think he's an extraordinary athlete for someone of his size, and I think we'll hear a lot more in 15-a-side game before long of this man Sheesby.
So Rob Glenister, who's been the most successful kicker by far this afternoon, pushed that one out though, and so there's still only 2 points in it, and I reckon they've just over a couple of minutes of the tie to go. The next score might well decide it. 16-14 for the Harlequins. And that's a poor kick-off. They needed a better one than that, the London Scots. Carling, Luxton. Yes, Everton Davis with a big kick. He'll get a boo, but it lets them reorganise, although the London Scots generally have done very well at the few throw-ins that there have been, mainly through Ian Morrison. That's Morrison and Sheesby at the tail. Morrison kids on, and then he always goes forward to take it. Millard, Harold going on. Luxton and Sheesby both in on the tackle.
I'll tell you what's so pleasing, Bill, is for once in a sevens tournament, the best match is proving to be the final.
Well, it certainly brought the best out of what I regard as one of the greatest sevens I've ever seen, this Harlequins lot, but they're being tested as Harold feeds it out. Appleson again. Harold once more, the fatigue beginning to tell, but Millard is there and he's strong. Feed out there to Luxton. Everton Davis tackled. The pick-up by Appleson. Tackled by Luxton. On goes Morrison, and that fierce engagement has been such a feature of this final, and why, to some extent, the try-scoring has been limited. But now, after over an hour of 7-a-side rugby this afternoon, they'll be pretty tired, and the last big deep breaths will be taken now, because it's almost at the end of the tie. 16-14 Harlequins lead. A last chance perhaps for the London Scots to troop. Troop with a jink. Well tackled by Davis. The pick up by Winterbottom. Harriman once more. Controlled the ball well. Craig Luxton, who's been here, there and everywhere in this final. A very competitive little fella he is. But a chance still for London Scottish as Walker goes. Walker inside to Harold. Harold on there to Troop. Troop is going to score. Can Harriman catch him? This could be the winning try. Incredible score. There are people on their feet all round the ground. And the little replacement has done it once again. Amazing scoring. His 5th try of the afternoon, and every one of them has been crucial. But that one was so beautifully created, and again with marvellous angling of his run. The arms are raised. This could be the last kick of the tie. And the kilts there are swirling about Twickenham, I tell you. This is Mark Appleson with the conversion attempt. It goes over. The referee has blown his whistle for the end of the tie, and London Scottish have scored a quite remarkable victory, one that very few people expected. 20 points to 16. They've beaten Harlequins, the reigning champions of the Middlesex Sevens. This in their 13th Middlesex final, and they've won for the 7th time. And they've done it with a quite dramatic try in the very last movement of the match. And it was a beautifully created try. Walker once again taking out Glenister in the tackle. And then Harold carrying on. And look at the angle of the little fellows running. Kevin Troop angling it beautifully, feeling the space. Marvellous vision. What a finish.
The thing that'll live in my mind is how this chap happened to be on the bench at the very start. I mean, it's been a fairy tale for him and for London Scottish. And extraordinarily wasn't, in fact, selected to be in the first 7 at the very beginning of the afternoon, but he's been the match winner in the end.
And so the big lad, Andy Walker, who's referred to by his pals with the nickname of Headless, but he's known where he was going today all right. And what a disappointment for Harlequins, because they are such a superb 7, with all the qualities you would need in a great 7. But the London Scots had fighting spirit. They have come from behind twice this afternoon, and that was the 3rd time. And they've produced some superb tries, and in doing so, they've revived memories of their halcyon days of the 1960s, when they got to 6 Middlesex finals in a row between 1960 and 1965. That's a record that the Harlequins equal today, but there surely is the happiest man in Twickenham at the moment, Kevin Troop, the former pupil of Gordon's College in Aberdeen, who used to play for Gordonians up there, and who has been, well, the match winner in this great final. And there Dick Best, a disappointed Dick Best, and Andy Harriman there, who did so much this afternoon with 7 tries, the top try scorer. And there you get an impression of the tremendous fatiguing aspect of an afternoon of 7-a-side rugby, and of course the terrible disappointment at the end when you expected to win and when victory is snatched from you, well, in the very last moment. But jubilant London Scottish players and supporters there, and David Millard, the captain, who has had some great moments for the Anglo-Scots, goes up there to receive the trophy. The Russell Cargill Memorial Cup, named after the great Edinburgh academical who was in on the start of Middlesex Sevens. David Millard there, what a joyful captain, as Concord salutes a London Scottish victory. London Scottish, the Middlesex Sevens champions of 1991.